Welcome back, fellow readers. This is Suave, and today we are going to be taking a look at How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom Manga Omnibus by J Novel Club. We're going to be taking a look at what this whole Manga Omnibus format is all about, being presented by J Novel Club, and we're going to take a look at what's inside this book. So without further ado, let's begin. Alright folks, here we have the Manga Omnibus for How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom by J Novel Club. Now real quickly, as far as dimensions go, it is just about the same size as any regular manga. There's nothing special about the dimensions. And we have the front cover here. We have the spine. It's actually a really beautiful spine design. You have the black and the red borders. You have the main character Soma here on the bottom. And on the back, you have the synopsis with the J Novel Club information. Now, one thing to note, this is an omnibus, and for those who don't know what an omnibus is, it's basically just a term that is used when you want to combine several different books into one. So in this case, this omnibus collects volumes 1 and 2 of the original manga run into one book. So on the front cover, this is actually the original cover that is for volume 1 of the manga in Japan. And on the back, you actually have the cover for volume 2. Now the colors are a little bit faded, and that's because you want people to be able to read the synopsis in the back. So it's not really the full-on color that you would get from Japan, but it's still there nonetheless. The actual build of the book itself is actually interesting because unlike a regular manga that has a gloss cover on the outside and just an uncoated piece of cardstock on the inside, it's actually matte coated on both sides. So like I was saying, it's very smooth on the outside and on the inside. And so this is actually a much thicker, a much heavier type of cover. So it actually does feel like a premium product. Okay, so how does a book that collects 2 different manga volumes about the same thickness as just one manga volume? So let's go ahead and take a look at that inside. So inside, we're already greeted with these beautiful colored inserts. They're printed on glossy pages, so it's very nice to see. We have the table of contents for volumes 1 and 2. And we're going to go ahead and flip on the next page. This is the last colored insert, and we have a cover page. Now, when you flip through these pages, you're going to automatically feel a huge difference in this manga versus different regular manga, and that is that these manga pages are much thinner than your standard manga volume. And the interesting thing to note about these pages is that when they're in your hand and you're flipping through it, they don't actually feel cheap. They don't feel like the flimsy newspaper that you get in other companies, and they also don't have that rough texture. These pages are actually very smooth. Now there is some bleed through when you get to some of these pages, so let me go ahead and just show you how thin some of these pages are. Let me see if I can find that one. Here we go, the one white page. So you can see there's a lot of bleed through going in this clear white page with the images in the back from the other page. Now I've heard of this title before, and that's because the light novels are being printed, and those are in English, and I think they're up to maybe volume 11 or 12, something like that. They're very far along. However, those are being printed by a different company, or a competitor of J Novel Club's, in fact. And so that makes me really wonder why they went ahead and published the manga for this title. I mean, yes, it is a very popular title. People probably will be buying this manga to enjoy it, but when I was reading through this, and I enjoyed the story with Soma and seeing how he rebuilds the kingdom with his ideas and meeting all the different characters, it makes me want to buy the light novels, and that doesn't help J Novel Club in any way. So it's actually a very interesting take that they're doing with these manga omnibus. And on top of that, the manga for light novels tend to come out at a very slow pace. So in Japan, we really only get 2 volumes of this title per year in Japan, and they only started in 2018. So really in total, there's only 6 volumes that have been published that J Novel Club can translate and publish. And we already have the solicitation for Omnibus Volume 2 later this year, and probably near the end of the year we'll have Volume 3, which is going to be pretty much all that there is published in Japan. So it makes me really wonder what the strategy is for these manga. Are we just going to get the 3 manga omnibus and then they're just going to take a hiatus until more are being published? And it's just a very interesting take, but nonetheless, this is actually still a very interesting story. I love the artwork that's being printed on here. It comes off very clean. I really love this whole book itself. And when I get to a double spread, let me see if I can find one over here. I think it's coming up, not too bad. Yeah, over here. So we have a double spread here where we have our guy here in the middle. And because these pages are so thin and the book isn't that thick, these double spreads come out really nicely. You don't get a whole lot of gutter loss here in the middle of the book. And yeah, I do have to stretch it a little bit, but I don't have to put a whole lot of effort to be able to see this whole picture. And because of the nice build of the book, you don't have to worry about damaging your book when you're trying to stretch out the book in order to see these double spreads. Now, as far as I can tell, the Manga Omnibus format from J Novel Club is actually fairly new. I think it's only this and Infinite Dendrogram, which came out near the end of 2020, that have this format. So I think they're testing out the waters to see the reception of these books and see how they sell and see if people like them. Personally, I think these books are amazing. They have the same thickness as a regular manga, and they have more story in them because they're collecting 2 volumes in one, and they actually come out really nicely on these pages. I don't think that people are going to be disappointed when they flip through these pages. I think they're going to be fairly surprised at how good this book is built. Now, I'm wondering if these books sell really well. I'm wondering if J Novel Club is going to have it in them to be able to find a much longer series to do these omnibus formats and be able to pump out maybe like 10 of these over time, instead of just finding these light novel manga that probably only have like 6 or 8 manga volumes in total in the past 6 years, and that's all they're gonna publish is maybe 3 or 4 manga omnibuses and call it a day and look for the next title. And there's some Juna right there. You can never have enough Juna in this book. The story itself was really good. I've never read the light novels, but reading this makes me want to read the light novels now, and I think this is actually going to be a very good companion piece for people who are fans of the light novels of this series and want to see the visuals as to everything that's going on. And personally, I'm just really excited to see what J Novel Club has next in store for the Manga Omnibus format. Seeing our main character Soma go from the real world all the way to this fantasy world, and just using his knowledge to be able to give to these people and rebuild the kingdom from the brink of destruction. It's a very good story. If you haven't read it already, I highly recommend getting this manga, trying it out yourself, and if you really like this, then you can go ahead and buy the light novel so you can really see what the story is going to bring. Let's go ahead and take a peek at the end pages real quick, and yeah, we have here, looks like we have an advertisement for volume 2 of the omnibus coming out later this year on June 2021. And we have Ascendance of a Bookworm manga by J Novel Club, and we also have what I was talking about earlier, the Infinite Dendrogram Omnibus that's already out for the manga. Alright, let's close out this showcase. And that was How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom Manga Omnibus by J Novel Club. Post your comments down below, let me know what you think about J Novel Club's manga omnibus. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe, because we're going to be bringing more product showcases in the near future. With that being said, I will see you all next time. Bye everyone.